How you doing, baby? Happy Tuesday. And today on Coffee and Conversation with your girl, Shakenya. When you get a minute, go to that YouTube channel, Shakenya, and hit subscribe, guys. Look at some of the videos, and if you see any of them that you like, just please hit share. I appreciate it. Trying to see what I can do different here on TikTok, try to get people in, right? So when you get a minute, get a copy of my book, Dysfunctional Family. Now, this is what it looks like. Now, it is some great copies floating around out there from when I first did it, but when I redid the book, this is what it looks like. So, please, thank you. Go to lulupublishing.com. So, it's a lecture, so I had to come with something to eat.
I'm sure before but my name is
just don't go home. You know somebody come. Introduce themselves. Woman or woman. Ain't no telling how that's going to turn out, right? So let's just listen in. Y'all just playing. Alright, y'all. I'm almost back to normal. Yesterday, y'all know I spazzed out.
Yeah, so we followed each other around all the time.
Y'all trying to listen? Me too. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Fix it. Okay, y'all. Yeah. So yesterday I was sad, I was mad, I was hurt, I was angry about a particular incident. And just know, typically the incidents be wrapped around my baby not being in my life. Just let me let you know that, meaning that I don't have a lot of issues. I don't have a lot of incidents. I don't have a lot of drama. The only thing that's going on in my life that's disruptive is the baby not being a part of it. That's not to say I got a perfect life. That's not to say I don't have issues. That's not to say I don't go through stuff. It's not to say none of that. But the things that I'm going crazy over and struggling with, it's all wrapped around that baby not being in my life. Fix it, Jesus. So, I'm not angry and I'm not mad anymore. I do things to reset myself. Like, comedy is a good one. Yeah, if you like comedy, yeah. Thank you, baby. She said don't be wasting no time.
Yeah, she said a small milk with the meal, right?
Yes. So yeah, like I said, the baby not being there is a big reason why I feel sad and mad and angry and whatnot, right? Other than that, I'm handling all the other things that I'm dealing with in life, right? Through good decision making, through proper planning, through time management, everything that I have to do is consistent of my life. I'm getting through, right? But yeah, that baby not being there, so much emotional stress, yeah, that's there that shouldn't be there. So many questions unanswered. So many decisions that have to be made off of nothing, right? Just unnecessary. So unnecessary. Right? So like everything is in shambles.
It was just
Yeah, Miss Patty's up here. Everybody coming to introduce herself. We poured this late, but he with this famous.
I wish.
So everything is in shambles. It's like I got bits and pieces of everything that I worked hard for. I worked towards. Like everything I did as far as parenting, everything that I'm telling the women to do in our Boys to Men segment. Hey, Auntie Doreen, me doing all of that. Putting all that time and effort in for it to not end up nowhere or not to be enough or not to be what it should be, meaning that the product that I should have gotten from the kids, I did get, but no more. I know, because I wouldn't even come on every morning. If it wasn't for the fact that I did see the product that I was looking for, right? So that's why now that everything has happened, it's in pieces, right? So I get pieces of it. Yeah. It's Jesus. We're revisiting things that we dealt with already. I hate that. I hate that. Like when you and somebody reach common ground or decide to agree to disagree or something to that avail, and then all of a sudden, or they forgiving you for something and you think you done moved on for something, and all of a sudden it pops back up like, yeah, I hate revisiting stuff that's already been dealt with. We don't already agree with this is what it is, right? So we doing that, right? I'm seeing behaviors that I've never seen before. Behaviors that I should have seen when they were younger or in teenage years. It's peeking this little ugly little head right now. Not to mention the disorders, right? So we wouldn't be dealing with no disorders. How could we? We was too busy being productive. We're struggling in areas that we shouldn't be. Yeah, like certain things that might have been our strengths at one point turned out to be our weaknesses now. I know. That's how that mirror effect works. Yeah, that's why you hear me saying the opposite of everything. Yeah, so I know that mirror effect was inactive. Yeah, it's terrible. So much had to be done. Because I put so much into being a parent. Yeah, if I wasn't a good parent, if I was lazy, trifling, wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, it would have been easy for him to take her. It wouldn't have took 15 and a half years for him to finally drag her away. Right now, I feel like we're walking down dark alleyways alone. You know what I'm saying? No lights, no street lights on that. That's where before we was rolling 5 deep. And my kids was a team. Thank you, baby. You can do anything with 5 people. 5 like-minded people together, sit down, cultivate a plan, orchestrate, trust the process, follow it through. 5 people. That's a lot. That's a team. That's a team, right? So with the 5 people I had, which was my kids, I was able to start my cleaning company. Now I started a business by going down there, filling out the paperwork, doing what I got to do, right? But it wasn't until the kids was involved that it became a company. So now I have 4 employees, right? So thanks to Jesus. This was the foundation. This is how family businesses get started. This is how generational wealth is created. Why would so many people be against me introducing my children to entrepreneurship? Remember that life class that we talked about that you should have taught your children that included taking care of bills, paying bills, working, budgeting, managing money, budgets, things of that nature? Entrepreneurship should have been in that class that you taught your kids along with credit, right? So, yeah, I'm teaching them entrepreneurship, and home ownership should have been in there too, right? So, why were so many people against me teaching my children entrepreneurship? Having them work with me in the business, creating generational wealth for my family. Think about that for a minute, because that's what happened when he interrupted my parents and took that baby out. That's exactly what happened. So all the dreams that my kids and everybody had with us building this business up and becoming millionaires are now dreams deferred as a result of it, right? So they worked every day. They was off Friday and Saturday. They got paid every month. Remember, I opened up the girls' bank account. I had to sign for it. The baby was too young to get it. So I was paying her directly from my account. Her and my other daughter. This was my way of teaching them money management. How to budget their money, how to manage the money that they get that goes into that account. You know her daddy and them closed that account and opened her up another one. What was the purpose of that? They did everything they had to do to erase me. They did. They did everything that they had to do. Everything, they did it. What was the purpose of doing that? Right? So, support your baby mama and your baby daddy. Especially if you supported them in the relationship. Don't wait until after y'all break up. Now you want to talk mess about the business. Now you want to dog them. Now you want to make it seem like it ain't all that. Now, don't do that. Support your baby mama and your baby daddy in their business ventures. Don't sabotage by pulling the baby out and taking the baby away, especially if you know that they need the baby for support for this business in order for the business to run, right? They need the kids. You need the kids, right? Like in my situation, he very well knew that the baby was going to be a part of the cleaning company, the baby was going to be a part of the program, the baby's going to be a part of everything. Already before she was old enough to be a mentor, this whole time my oldest daughters were mentors for the girls. Oh yeah, because they were exceptional young ladies. Oh yeah, so those girls had to look up to my daughters, right? So, but before they got to that point, they used to volunteer. So every time we hosted an event at the Samaritan Center, my children volunteered. So my son and the other organizers' sons would put together the chairs and the tables and stuff. My daughters would always be dressed up as hostesses to tell you about the event, tell you what's going on, give you your flyer, direct you to your table, right? They were always so pretty and poised, right? Why would so many people have a problem or would be against me exposing my children to that type of life? Having them volunteer, having them give back, making sure they know the importance of doing so, right? Yeah. And the way they had to carry themselves in order to be a part of my program, in order to be able to volunteer at the organizational events that we had, right? You would think I would have more support, especially from a dad. Because that means she had to carry herself like a lady. She got to present herself as a lady. So he knew eventually I was going to include her in the cleaning company because he knew that was going to be my way to create generational wealth by starting this business. Now, I am going to have to take a pause because even though I'm saying support your baby mama and your baby daddy, sometimes, make sure I say it right, the other parent has the right to feel how they feel. Meaning that if you want the child to be a part of your business and they don't, they have reason to feel how they feel. This calls for a discussion. Yeah, because that's both of y'all, baby. So can't just one parent just do what he want to do, and then just like yesterday when I told y'all I would text him when I rode on the bike. He ain't never say nothing about me riding on my motorcycle, but I know he didn't want me to get a motorcycle when we was married. So I'm quite sure he had issues with me riding the baby. And as a parent, he could have said something, but he never did. Right? So all I can tell you is I love riding motorcycles. my daughters had a fascination with motorcycles, and before they got too big and the weight was too much for me, I would ride them on my bike. But as far as the cleaning company go, that's when y'all have a discussion. You sit down and you lay out the reasons why. Lay out the reasons why the child should be involved in the business. And the other parent can get the reasons why they feel the child should.
Hey. Come on, enjoy. Come back over.
At that point, y'all should be able to meet in the middle. Yeah, common ground, meet in the middle, and do what's best for the baby. In my case, she was cleaning with my other daughter, my son, my little brother, my best friend, and her cousin on her dad's side. Rest in peace, Red. I miss Red. Red is my youngest daughter's father's cousin. And he was the fix-it man in the marriage. But after we divorced, I still had a friendship with him. I still had a friendship with him. So he still would fix all my stuff. My car, my furnace, whatever. So he also would clean from time to time. Yeah. Make a couple dollars with it. So just because y'all break up, that don't mean that you sever ties with their friends, their family, especially if y'all share a child. People shouldn't always feel like they gotta pick a side, especially when they relate. This is the cousin of my baby. Why would I not be friends with him? Why would I not be cool with him? Why would I not continue to call him the big stuff? If you was getting your hair did by his sister, your baby daddy's sister, you should still be getting your hair did by your baby daddy's sister. If you was cool with your baby daddy cousin, you should still be cool with your baby daddy. All that beef, and we too old for all that. Life is too short. Yeah. So to cause such a divide, to have people have to pick sides, or it always have to be a war, y'all always beef out. That is unnecessary when y'all share a child. That causes trauma and turmoil to the baby. Because the baby always got to choose. The baby should never have to choose a mama and a daddy. Which one they want in their life. Which one they want to share their life. Which one. The child should never be forced to choose between a mama and a daddy. And y'all should never make a child do so. If y'all should still be cool, y'all should still have some type of friendship. I would see his friends and speak to them. One of his friends helped me with the youth program. Hey Danielle, hey Rob, hey Doug. One of his friends is still my friend after. I would see him all the time. He helped me with the youth program. He helped me make that connection with the school system. The same youth program that my daughters were mentors in. The same youth program that was on Channel 2. The same youth program that was on Channel 4. The same youth program that was interviewed by Amir Makers. That youth program. That's the program he pulled her out of. That program. That program that was awarded by the Deterrence Center program at the Ryan Correctional Facility. The deterrence program that they had that I was using for the boys, the jail toys. That's the program he pulled her out of. Yeah, I didn't fall out with nobody. Yeah. His wife was my friend. And some of y'all can attest to that. Yep, some of y'all was over there, seen me pull up, see me and her on the porch laughing and kicking it. Some of y'all done seen her pour me a glass of wine and was puzzled, like, ooh, what type of sister wives is going on here? I don't believe in all that beefing. You should be friends with your baby mama or your baby daddy's significant other. When y'all break up, everybody's healed, moving on, going your separate ways. Yeah. When they enter into a relationship, that baby is over there with them, right? You should be friends with them. No, you're around your baby. I definitely don't want nobody pinching on my baby. Hey, you know what? Because they mad at me. We was friends. They ruined that relationship. I love that baby. Hey, X-Ray. I miss that baby. I miss that baby just as much as I miss my daughter. I know that sounds crazy. You should still have a relationship with their children. Yeah. I know y'all like Miss Wordlaw. Shakenya, you're going too far. No. Think about it. You was in a relationship with somebody almost 10 years, 9 years. They had a baby when y'all met. You pretty much raised this baby. You raised this baby before you even had a baby with them. So your first child really was their biological baby was your first baby, because that was the baby that you helped raise. You should still be a mentor in that child's life. That baby should still be able to call on you if they need you. My children will contact anybody that I ever dealt with. Anybody that they ever met. Except for about 2. Shine fat ass. And then the baby that I'm dealing with, daddy. Everybody else, I don't burn no bridges. And both of them, let me tell you what they had in common. I believe if both of them went and got a diagnosis, they both would have been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I bet you any kind of money. If they both went to go, that was a trait that they had in common. Bringing it back. I posted a memory yesterday. Go to my page and see it. And the caption was, I miss my baby. Now the pictures that were taken were the process of her getting ready, right? The stepmom that I'm just telling you about that I said was my friend was doing her nails, so we got a picture of that. My oldest daughter was doing her makeup. We got a picture of that. And it was at his house. So if you want to wonder why I didn't know that we was beefing, we did stuff like that. So how could I possibly ever think that we was so beefed out to the point where he felt it was better to remove this baby? I don't know. So the pictures was taken from there, and even in the caption, she's tagged because I used to call her my stepbaby, my stepmama. Baby mama. Yep, I just call her my baby mama. Because she was my baby's mama when my baby was over there. So I teach her to respect her as such. She asks you to do something, you do it. Right? Let me tell you, we had an incident one time where she told my baby to do something. My baby gave her some lip. So she called me and asked permission to discipline her. And I said, of course, you better. First of all, the respect that she had for me to call and ask me. I miss her. So yeah, I gave her my permission, right? So she disciplined her. Hey, Cynthia. Shout out to Flint, Michigan. I love you, baby. She disciplined her, and guess what the baby did? The baby ran across the street to that ratchet ass grandmama. And the grandmama told her to call CPS. I know, this type of shit I was dealing with. This is the type of shit I was dealing with. That's why we teach the grandparents workshop in the co-parenting class, right? Because there is no way that the grandma should have been able to overstep her boundaries and override my decision for her to be disciplined by her stepmom. I call them bonus moms. I really say stepmoms, but just so you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So when I gave the final okay and she was disciplined, that should have been that. So when she ran across the street to the grandmama should have shut her door and sent her little ass right back across the street with her stepmom, so she can do whatever it was that the stepmama needed her to do. Right? It's a process. You know, it's protocol. It's levels to this, right? Yeah. So when you get people doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing and overstepping boundaries, you gotta check that, right? So the grandma should have been checked. She should have been able to stay in her place. She should have been able to tell my daughter to go back across the street and do whatever it was that the stepmama needed her to do. And that should have been the end of that. You shouldn't go a step further to you ain't gotta listen to her. You ain't gotta listen to that big CP. This is the ratchet grandmama. This is what the advice is. I should have stopped her from going over there then when this incident happened. That's number 7. Another reason why I should have stopped her from going over there. So I got another picture with her sitting on my lap. She was about 12 years old in his house. Just letting you know, I didn't know we was beefed out. So, because this is some serious beef. Yeah, anytime you don't allow your baby to see another parent for years, not call, not check on them, not care about them, not care about the other family members, baby, you either had to do something seriously wrong or somebody just hates you just that much to do that. So if it's like that, yeah, it should have been some beef. I should have been very well informed that we beefed out, fight on sight. So the fact that I didn't know we was beefed out, it was nothing that he shouldn't have been able to talk to me about as it relates to that baby. Yeah. There's nothing y'all shouldn't be able to talk about as parents as it relates to the baby. Any parenting concerns that you have, it can be something as simple as you tired of them wearing the kids' clothes. Your other kids wearing the child clothes. It can be that petty. No matter how petty it is, if it's a parenting concern, it's a parenting concern that needs to be heard. Y'all need to have a safe space to be able to sit down and talk about whatever the concern is and come up with a resolve, right? I wish I could tell these people that they live, but I can't. So I hope ain't nobody doing the they supposed to be doing coming up in here, because they definitely about to get caught. So then he couldn't talk to me about, but he didn't want to talk to me because that wasn't the mission. Yeah, to keep me in her life was never the mission. Why? Because when he left, when it was over, final, last straw, he stormed out my castle and he said, "I'm gonna get my baby. We don't need you." That was a threat. That was a threat. And that's my fault for not following up on it, following through, taking it as such. Because I should have taken him to court and set up supervised visitation at that time. As soon as we divorced. And I'm not telling you guys to be so drastic. Yeah, it's like I say, it's levels. Yeah, it's usually a build-up. It's usually you actually, a parent is doing something wrong. You sick and tired of it. But this is after you done came and brought it to their attention a couple times and they didn't take heed. They keep doing something you asked them to do. The Grandma series is the perfect example. If you get a chance, go back in my videos on my YouTube channel and look for the Grandma series, right? And that gives you a pretty much outline of the procedure and steps that you can take when you do want to remove a child from a parent. You got a child in an unsafe environment. Every time they go to grandma's house, something always happens to this baby. You tell them don't take them over to grandma's house no more, they continue to take them over to grandma's house. Now something do happen. Now what? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a process, it's rules, it's protocol, procedures, all that good stuff when you try to remove a child, right? So the mission should never be separate the child from the parent. The mission should never be taking a parent out of a child's life, especially when there's no abuse or neglect. Meaning you have no reason to separate this child. You have no reason to stop this child from going over there. You have no reason to have this child not call and check on their mom and dad. You have no reason. None. But you do it anyway. So that wasn't the mission. To keep me in her life, the mission was always to get me out. The mission was always to exclude me. The mission was always to separate me. That was always his mission after the divorce. And it shows now. I haven't seen her in 6 years. So when he drug her away, he left a lot of destruction. A lot of destruction. So much destruction, so much confusion, so much confliction from that act. I'm parenting on a whim right now. I'm playing it by ear. I'm going with the flow. Because everything about what I'm going through right now is unorthodox. So I can only do what I can. Nothing that I'm dealing with was in the plans. None of my plan A has any mention or anything that has anything to do with one of my babies being removed or something even happened to my babies. Lord God forbid, right? That wasn't in the plans though. We're supposed to be together even now. We should still be working together right now. Yeah. The only difference is we'll be millionaires right now. Yeah. They wouldn't be cleaning. They would have employees cleaning for them. And all they would be doing is reaping the benefits, collecting checks. Right. So that would be it. And they would also have their own businesses that they would be having, running. Yeah. My son definitely would either have a food truck or a restaurant by now. My little brother Jay would definitely have a garage and definitely be running his landscaping company. Yeah. And he would have people working for him. Yeah. The girls definitely would have a boutique. They would definitely have their own building and they would have a boutique and an online store. Yeah, guaranteed. Guaranteed. And I wouldn't even be surprised if the oldest would have a daycare on the side. Yeah. We would be millionaires. Yeah. So everything I'm dealing with is on the whim. Fix it, Jesus. So it's fair for them to have questions and concerns. So y'all should have been able to sit down and talk. Like in my case, he could have very well had concerns about her working in the cleaning company. He could have had concerns about the chemicals, that we use when we clean. He could have been concerned about the machinery that we use when we clean. Right? He could have had some very well complaints. He could have had complaints about her not getting enough sleep because we cleaned every night. Right? Could have had some issues about her not doing her work. Grades falling. Fella. Yeah. But she didn't have none of that. Yeah. There was days that she didn't clean. She was studying for a test. Yeah. If she had homework to do, she didn't clean. Yeah. She didn't get paid either. Alright, so and then it would have been me to give him the reasons why she should be able to work in the business. Right? Maybe it's her not being around the chemicals. Maybe her only working a couple days a week and not every day, right? There should be some type of way to where we should have been able to communicate if that was an issue and come up with a medium, come up with some type of strategy to where everybody is happy, right? So, sorry, y'all. I'm trying to stick to the script because this is very painful because I'm still going through it from yesterday. Okay. We had an issue where we never sat down and discussed any parenting concerns. But through one argument, he threw out, I'm always dropping her off. And that was true. Wherever she wanted to go, I would take her, right? But I often knew who she was going to see and where I was dropping her off. Right? So he threw out a person. I'm always taking over this person's house, right? If he had an issue with that, that was something that we could have sat down and talked about, right? Could have let me know the reasons why he felt the way he felt. And trust me, if it was a situation where this person is a bad influence on her, I'm going to stop taking her over there, right? Why would I continue? These is my prized possessions, right? But this is when I told you about the incident when she lied, right? So if we would have dug deeper, I would have found out that the daddy was the reason why she was lying, right? So But in the instance of you shouting that at me through an argument, not sitting down telling me the reasons why you feel this way, right? The same individual was over his house, right? Hey, Angel, hey, Reese, right? So you can't do that. You can't play good cop, bad cop. So it could be a situation where, as a parent, you might have an issue with this child doing whatever, but you don't want to seem like the bad guy. So you allow the other parent to do it so that the other parent can be the one to stop it, right? So I was supposed to stop her from seeing this friend, right? Without no knowledge, without no evidence, without knowing what's going on, right? Why? Because he didn't say nothing. Now this right here is good cop, bad cop. Because this is when they withhold evidence from you so that you can fall on your face, or so you feel like the bad guy, or you can be the one, right? So if you have an issue with this individual, why this individual over your house, right? So very confusing, very conflicted. This whole situation is messed up. The whole situation is messed up. No sense nowhere. You can't make no sense out of my situation if you want to. You could. That's why you tune in every day. Because don't nothing make sense to you. Hey, Nicole. Person to go so far to poison the child, discussed it. Yeah, so we could have discussed it. If it was a bad influence, I would have stopped the friendship with no problem. But there was never a conversation. So for a person to go so far to have so many reasons, I should have been made aware. For her not to be in my life, for a dad to have so many issues with my parenting style, with everything that I did with her, for it to be so to the point where she's no longer in our life, that would have been something that I should have been made aware of. Guaranteed CPS should have got involved, right? There should have been allegations, there should have been court proceedings, there should have been a whole list of things in the process that should have taken place before her just getting ripped out of our lives. It was like overnight. I kid you not. I just told you I was on the porch with the wife kicking it. You think if I knew these people didn't like me, that I wouldn't be on the porch having fun and playing with the son? Goo goo gaga. Come on now. These people act like they was my friends. Why you think I was dropping her off? You think I'm gonna drop her off to some people that don't like me? No, these people used to wave to me. They used to wave and speak. So I should have been made aware. And that's some concerns that you should have is a parent that's unemployed. Yeah, a parent that don't have no income, unemployed, barely able to pay the bills, just barely able to just do the bare necessities, which is provide food, clothing, and shelter. That's a concern for a parent to have. Yeah, lights are always getting cut off. They always moving. They not stable. That's a concern for a parent to have. And even at that time, I would hope that you would step in and provide resources. Is it something that I could do to help? Right? Not just snatch a child away and pull a child out of the parents' life. Help them find a job. They behind on the bill, loan them the money to get it, to pay it, right? Mental health concerns. Yeah. If the other parent has mental health concerns, yeah, they can become a risk to themselves and others. Yeah, that's a concern. Yeah. And even at that time, I would hope that you would try to encourage them to go get the help that they need. And then in the midst of it, I would hope that you would be having supervised visits to make sure that they don't harm themselves and the child when the child is visiting, right? Still, a connection is still there. Addictions. Yeah. If the parent has addictions, yeah, that would be a concern for a parent, right? Because you're putting the child in an unsafe environment, the child is at risk. Chances are if the parent is using drugs, the money is going there and not going on the bills and going on the things that need to be going on, right? So yeah, that would be a concern for a parent, right? If a person has habits, vices, say they gamble, yeah, all their money go to gambling. They can't never pay the bills because all the money ain't gambling. They losing everything. Behind on the cardinal that them work because they gamble. Can't pay for the kids' sports. That's a concern for a parent. Yeah. You see if you can find them some help. If not, supervised visitations. Might have to change the lifestyle, right? So, if they're abusive, physically, mentally, always calling the child out their name, fighting them, whooping on them every chance they get. Cause for concern, right? We should have been able to talk about anything because ain't none of this take place in my life. I ain't struggling with none of those issues I just mentioned. Yeah, you got to keep in mind, my son was out on his own with his family. My little brother had his own place and was working. Yeah. My oldest daughter was in a nursing program, right? And the baby was going to 11th grade Cass Tech. Yeah. I had already started the youth program. I had already started the cleaning company. I had already wrote my book. We was well on our way. Yeah. There was no need for a dad to be concerned. Definitely no need for a dad to rip a child out of my life and my family's life. Now we're struggling with simple decision making. We're dealing with something right now. Yeah. That in the real world, it would be an easy fix. But because everything is so complicated in our world, because of what has happened and how it has happened, we actually struggle. We're confused about the decision. We're conflicted about what we should do. The thought process leaves us going down a rabbit hole. Yeah. Just to be mad, sad, hurt, and angry at the end of it. Yeah. For absolutely no reason. Rewind that back. Yeah. For no reason. For nothing. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with right now. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. All because a man was hurt, mad, and angry. Because I left him. But think about what I left, though. I left an unhealthy marriage where somebody was abusive, physically and emotionally. Yeah. So when he made that threat about getting his baby and they didn't need me, I should have took that. I should have took that for what it was when he said it. Because he made that threat and followed through. Yeah. So this is why I have to do lectures in between the classes, because I want everybody to be on the same page. I don't want us to have no misunderstandings as we move forward with these classes and these manipulation tips. I don't want nobody lost in the sauce. If you're doing anything to cause discord between a child and another parent, that's abuse. And I'm going to throw out a couple that you probably do and probably don't think that is nothing. And that's why you do it. When you call your baby mama and your baby daddy out their name in front of the baby, that's abuse. Every time the baby get in the car, you grill them about what they did when they was over there. And not so much what they did, but what everybody else would. What the daddy do, what the daddy girlfriend do, what the how the daddy girlfriend look, what the daddy girlfriend stay. What was you and the daddy girlfriend and the daddy talking about? That's abuse. That's interrogation. That's interrogation. So now you got the baby being over there I spy every time they go over there. So instead of them enjoying their time over there with the daddy and the daddy's girlfriend's kids, like a child supposed to, they over there being I spy so they can come back and report to you. That's abuse. When you tell a child before they get out the car, don't tell them people nothing about what's going on in my house. That's abuse. Because now when they over to other parents' house, they quiet and withdrawn.
You okay here?
Yes, I'm good, baby. And they don't want to talk to nobody. So they over there quiet. You think something wrong with them. You thinking your baby's slow. When the whole time is you told them don't tell them nothing about what's going on in that house. So you wasn't specific about what you don't want them to talk about. So for a child, it registers to where everything. So I can't even tell you the happy times that I'm having over here at this house because my mama said I can't say nothing about what's going on in this house. That's abuse. That's mental torture. Because now you got a child over here that want to tell you so much about what happened while they was over there with their mama house. But they can't tell you nothing. And so now they sad. And then every time you ask them what's wrong, they can't tell you what's wrong because they're gonna have to tell them what it is, and they're gonna get in trouble if they tell, because mama said don't tell them people what's going on in my house. Them people is their family. Them people is their daddy or their mama and their cousins and they. So that's it, y'all. Yeah. Tomorrow we're gonna get back to the manipulation tips. We're gonna get back to our boys to men segment. Now that your boys are men, how are they now? Right? We're gonna get back to some disorders. Yeah, I looked up a couple, and it involves your body. The formation that you think you might see. What's the name of that? We'll talk about it tomorrow. So y'all, that's it. I'm out. Mwah. All right, Facebook. I'm out.